name's Jason Kingsley. I'm the CEO and creative director of Rebellion, and we've just made Aliens vs Predator. It's a game where you can play the alien, the predator, or the colonial marine in a three-way shooting fest of horror and action.
Welcome to Freya's Prospect, Weyland-Yutani's garden amongst the stars.
Well, ever since we made the original title back in '99, we've always wanted to come back to the Aliens and Predators world. We always had lots of ideas, but we never had the opportunity. So 2.5 years ago, Fox and Sega got together and decided to commission us to make this game. So we now have the fantastic opportunity of having a go again. Creating 3 characters all at one time was very challenging and interesting, and we wanted to have an interleaved kind of storyline so that you could play as a Marine. That's the most familiar for most people, and then you could also play the same kind of story as the alien, and you get to see a different side of the Marine story. So it's quite a complicated, not in a difficult way, but a complicated sort of story to reveal, and it's been quite tricky to put together, but it's definitely been, it'll be a challenge for people to play. The original sort of inspiration for the series of games was Atari, back in the old days on the Atari Jaguar. They came to us and said, could you make us a game? And they suggested a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and we said, no, we can do a lot more than that. We can do into the screen, we can do a sort of 2.5D game. And that's really where the inspiration came from, and then it was my idea, along with the rest of the teams, to kind of come up with the idea of playing the bad guys. And up to that point, I think in most games you'd only ever been able to play the hero. We sort of spun it on his head and gave you the chance to be evil, if you like. Well, each character's obviously got its own suite of weapons. So the Marine's got guns, explosives and weapons that are rapid fire and are very, very powerful. The Predator's got high-tech weapons, plasma casters, and also they kind of close-in wrist blades, but doesn't really have a sort of machine gun type of thing. So the Predator and the Marine are kind of quite well balanced. Predator obviously can go invisible, but not forever. He's got to kind of use his power carefully. The key difference, I suppose, really is the alien. The alien can go anywhere, can walk on walls and ceilings, and basically doesn't have any ranged weapons. When you're playing as an alien, you are the weapon. You're a kind of an intelligent guided missile with claws, which makes it very different for people, very exciting in multiplayer. Because of course, multiplayer, you can play all 3 characters against each other, or they can team up. We're not really basing this game on the Aliens vs Predator movies, which bizarrely enough were based on our original game back on the PC. What we've done, we go back to the originals. We go back to Alien, Aliens, and Predator as our kind of base canon type of project. And then we build up our own Aliens vs Predator world.
How old do you think it is? 10,000? 100,000?
Obviously, working with Fox, we get access to their audio library, so we tried really hard to be faithful to the movies. But sometimes you look at things, you want to recreate sounds. Whilst we sort of stand on the shoulders of giants, other people's creativity, we also added our own in there. The motion tracker, the pulse rifle, the alien scream, the predator roar. All of these things had to be as good or better than the movies if we could. I think the key fear factor is with the Marine. Because you're a lone human and you are quite vulnerable, but you've got good weapons.
They just keep coming.
You sort of sense the guy's vulnerability.
Get out of there!
The game is based on our own technology and tools, so that's been challenging, and that constantly keeps changing. We've been developing that engine for years and years and years now. I guess one of the key challenges was getting the Alien gameplay and the Predator gameplay right, because they're quite different from your run-of-the-mill FPS, your run-of-the-mill shooter, where people are familiar with what it's like to be a soldier in a computer game shooting guns. We've got to get that right, obviously, but people are very aware of how it works. With an alien going everywhere, navigation was an issue, smooth transition from wall to floor to ceiling. How do you leap around? All of those things were really interesting, and some of the prototypes we did simply didn't work, and we had to go back to the drawing board and try again, but we've got it working now. I am really hoping we get a chance to explore the Aliens and Predator universe again soon. That will be in the hands of the guys out there who play the game. You know, if it's well received and everybody likes what we've done, I'm sure we'll get commissioned to do another one. We'd love to. We've got a lot of ideas, that we came up with in the initial brainstorming idea that we just didn't have time or resources to actually put into this game. But fingers crossed, eh?
Ah!